When did you realize the perfect person was a complete fraud? Mark was the kind of man who remembered the name of your childhood dog. He seemed perfect, and for me, after a messy divorce, perfect was exactly what I needed. He was a wealth manager, he said, for old money families. He spoke of trusts and portfolios with an easy confidence that made me feel safe. He'd listen for hours about my job, my anxieties, my quiet little dream of opening a small bakery. He made my dream feel possible. After 6 months, he brought up the family trust. It was an exclusive investment opportunity, he explained, usually reserved for his wealthiest clients. But he'd pulled some strings for me. He wanted to help me get my bakery. All I had to do was invest my savings, my entire $40,000 divorce settlement. He showed me glossy brochures and a professional-looking website with testimonials. I was so in love, I didn't see the red flags, I saw a future. I transferred the money. For a month, everything was normal. Then the excuses started. The market was volatile. The fund was restructuring. He became distant, his calls less frequent. The panic started to set in. One night, he left his laptop open by accident. He always guarded it like a fortress, but he'd gone out for a client dinner. My heart was pounding, but I knew I had to look. I didn't need to guess a password. He had a text file on his desktop named Notes. It wasn't client notes. It was a list of names with dates and amounts next to them. There were 5 other women, each with a story just like mine. One was a widow who'd invested her husband's life insurance. Another was a teacher who'd given him her retirement fund. I saw my name, with Bakery Dream written next to the $40,000. It wasn't just a scam, it was a playbook. My world didn't just crack, it shattered. But underneath the grief, something else was growing, a cold, hard anger. I didn't call the police. I knew men like Mark were ghosts. They'd disappear and another would pop up. I contacted the other women on the list. It took weeks of careful messages and tearful phone calls, but we were all connected by the same lie. We learned his weakness wasn't just greed, it was arrogance. He believed he was smarter than everyone, especially the emotional women he conned. We decided to use that. We created a new ghost, a bigger, better one. One of the victims, a graphic designer, built a fake website for a company investing in rare art. Another, a former legal secretary, drew up official-looking contracts. We fabricated an entire portfolio for a piece of art we called The Crimson Lily, a fictional masterpiece by a fictional artist. We made it the score of a lifetime. My job was to be the bait. I went back to Mark, crying, apologizing for being distant. I told him my estranged uncle had passed away and left me a massive inheritance, but it was tied up in art assets. I showed him the fake website. I told him the estate was selling The Crimson Lily for a fraction of its value, a private sale. $200,000 for a piece supposedly worth millions. His eyes lit up. He saw his biggest payday yet. He spent a week vetting our fake company, which of course checked out perfectly. He pooled all the money he'd stolen from us, every last cent, convinced he was about to triple it. He even kicked in $30,000 of his own. He transferred the full $200,000 to the offshore account we'd set up. The moment the transfer confirmed, we shut it all down. The website vanished. The phone numbers went dead. I packed my apartment and left. I didn't say goodbye. We split the money, returning every dollar to his victims. My $40,000 went into a new savings account. Last I heard, Mark was being investigated for fraud after another one of his scams fell apart, this time without the cushion of our money to save him. I never opened a bakery, but every month I sent a small, anonymous donation to a support group for victims of financial